I don't know what's going on in the world today, but it's a bit crazy out there. We got COVID-19 pandemics, and we have Elliot from the 2P Project coming to you live. Well, actually not live. I don't know why I keep saying that in every video. It's not live. Elliot from the 2P Project, here I am. And today we are going to crank out some information on that Assassin's Creed trailer that released last week. My goodness, that was an awesome trailer. There's so many things in there. Teasers, all sorts of stuff. Actually, I'm not even going to touch on any of it. I'm going to talk about my own stuff. And you know what else is exciting about that whole trailer? Is the fact that everybody else is analyzing the trailer, and I might as well jump on the bandwagon. Bangwagon? The bandwagon too. Well, let's get started. So I actually had no idea that Ubisoft had several Canadian studios. Being Canadian myself, you would think I'm supposed to know these things. Anyway, I'd like to take a minute to chat about Ubisoft, I guess, since, Valhalla's main studio is right here in Canada, based out of Montreal. The Montreal studio, however, isn't the only studio working on the project. Valhalla will be setting a record, working with somewhere around 14 or 15 other co-developing studios. I think the sheer scale of Valhalla demands the coordination and cooperation of multiple studios, so here's hoping they can all work together. You might ask, isn't that too many cooks in the kitchen? Might this diminish the quality of the game? I'm not so sure. I think it depends on who's managing the project. While Ubisoft hasn't had the greatest PR, just look at Odyssey and the microtransactions they tried to push through on that one, they are great at managing multiple projects and multiple developers. In a past interview between Yannis Mallat, the CEO of Ubisoft's Canadian studios, and Gamasutra, he mentions that, "We're not a 2,000-person big studio. We are an X-Project studio. We have a project-based team structure, and we want to make sure that we respect that. We want to make sure that the studio is in fact at the service of the creators' vision." So I think when a large studio like Ubisoft can compartmentalize their projects and provide support in multiple ways, we begin to see how managing multiple projects at once can become an easier task. It's probably also why we're able to see franchises like Rainbow Six, Watch Dogs, Far Cry, The Division, and even older games like Splinter Cell become so well known. I think Ubisoft has a unique direction for each project, and it takes people like Yannis Mallat to lead the way. I mean, we see that across most developers anyway. Big names like Shigeru Miyamoto, Hideo Kojima, and even Hinorobu Sakaguchi. I mean, the list goes on. These are just names I can cite off the top of my head. But all companies have a leader to pave the way for some fantastic games. Though, lately there seems to be some anger flaring up around the new formula for the Assassin's Creed games. I don't know why. I feel that the newer games like Odyssey are much better than the original. Further, this quote-unquote hate seems focused on the original idea that an Assassin's Creed game was built on stealth mechanics. To be honest though, was Assassin's Creed ever truly a stealth game? I mean, I feel Splinter Cell was the very definition of stealth, and Assassin's Creed was still marketed to be hack and slash. Well, anyway, video games still need to evolve. And if games don't evolve, then we'll never see anything new. Instead, we'll likely keep revisiting the older games through remakes and remasters. Right now, that's what people want, I guess. I know that I, for one, would prefer to see new IP and the expansion of the Assassin's Creed universe and the new features being implemented in Valhalla. And since we're talking about features and digging more into the trailer, I think it's about time we let Jeff, a longtime friend of mine and co-host here at the 2P Project, speak briefly about features that may be in the game that appear to be teased in the trailer. These features may include a focus on communities, settlement building, large-scale battles, weapon variation, ship building, and raiding, which if done correctly will be a great added feature. Just a quick side note, Ubisoft did confirm these features in their developer commentary with Ashrush Ishmael and Darby McDevitt, so I'm not pulling these out of nowhere. Anyway, here's Jeff.
Hey everybody, Jeff here. As Elliot mentioned earlier, the trailer teases some of the more interesting features from the game. So let's dig into those features a little more and how they appear to tie into Norse culture. Though we are not attempting to speak for everyone, our guess is that most gamers understand very little about the Norse, as we do, and any knowledge gamers do have would be fully perpetuated by movies, video games, and TV shows. Thankfully, Ubisoft released a trailer with commentary discussing some of the overlapping features with Norse society. If you like, you can also view the whole commentary on the trailer on the Ubisoft YouTube channel, which will be in the description below. So let's get into it, shall we? When we think of Vikings, we visualize men and women that raped, pillaged, and brutalized during their conquests. We fail, however, to see a society that had people who were amazing explorers, traders, settlers, and builders. In the media, we rarely see their humanity, and it's through the narration of King Alfred in the trailer that highlight our own view of what we think the Vikings were really like. More on this in a minute. The trailer is well done, and does a good job at stressing the importance of culture in the game. There are multiple scenes in the game that show a sense of camaraderie and loyalty amongst members, and how the society operated. There is even a scene that emphasizes the importance of ceremony and rituals to Vikings as they prepare for battle, and I'm sure other aspects of life. They even went as far as to use a raven instead of the traditional eagle to represent Hugin and Munin, a pair of ravens that ferried information to the god Odin in Norse mythology. It's evident that aspects of mythology will be integrated in Valhalla, as has been incorporated in each other recent AC games like Origins and Odyssey. The attempt to give gamers some degree of historical context is always welcome. We believe those like Ismail and McDevitt, along with the historian and content advisor Thierry Noel, will give gamers an accurate depiction of Norse society and the period in which Valhalla is set. Noel explains that the Vikings rarely left behind texts or scriptures about themselves. This leads to a reason related to why we perceive the Vikings in a negative light. Much of the information given was recorded by the monks and victims of invasions. Further, England needed an enemy to explain how their nation was born, as shown through the narration of King Alfred. According to Noel, King Alfred was an actual and very important person in England's history by all accounts. When the original Vikings invaded and settled in England, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fell one by one due to the division of rule in England at the time. The only one to survive and repel the invasion was Wessex, which happened to be the very same ruled by Alfred, who then worked to rebuild England. While texts depict King Alfred as a hero, we all know that history is written by the victor, and it might be interesting to see how Valhalla will portray King Alfred. As it stands, the trailer features King Alfred as the antagonist, but little is known more than that. The trailer also highlights the tyranny of him and his advisor. Regardless, however it plays out, Noel, Ismail, and McDevitt all seem to have a pretty good understanding of North culture and how to weave it into the AC universe. According to the developers, Valhalla takes place during England's Dark Ages in the 9th century, set shortly after you, as Eivor, and your clan travel across the North Sea. This allows players an opportunity to explore and visit Wessex, Northumbria, East Anglia, and Mercia, 4 English kingdoms during the time. The idea here, like all AC games, is to experience what it was like to live during this era. In comparison to its predecessors, namely Origin and Odyssey, there is little known about the Dark Ages, so it's probably safe to assume that Ubisoft designed a game around the actual events with a fictional flair.
And if you want to watch more videos like this, we're looking to release at least one a month. So hopefully we get one out next month. The next one, just as a quick hint, will be probably Death Stranding related or Final Fantasy VI related. I was thinking about doing a Final Fantasy VII remake video, but I'd have to play through that whole game again. And I don't know if I can do that again. Anyway, this is Elliot from the 2P Project. Please consider subscribing, following, hitting that whatever the bell at the bottom that allows you to watch us. And Miss says see you as well. So there she is. Anyway, with that being said, this is Elliot from the 2P Project. I think I already said that, but whatever. 2P out.